the secret meet is essentially a collection of the most ridiculous hypercar and supercars. I'm looking out to a Valkyrie, and behind us sits a Bugatti Veyron. This is...
That's very nice. Hello and welcome to the 37th C.R.E.A.M podcast. And now you may notice some background noise already.
If you're an audio listener, we can only apologise, but at the same time, we don't care because where are we?
We are at Silverstone Circuit right now at the Supercar driver secret meet. We've somehow blagged our way into this.
Yeah.
Now we'll get onto this throughout this podcast.
Shout out to Joe, by the way, for getting us in.
Joe and the guys at Supercar driver somehow getting us in. I don't know how they've looked at our content and gone, you know what? These are Supercar drivers.
C.R.E.A.M podcast should be at the Supercar driver meet.
You know what? The 355 has really opened some doors for us.
And we should make a note. The current place that we're in, if you're an audio listener and you can't see, we are in the official Bugatti store pit garage, and behind us sits a Bugatti Veyron. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Outside of our garage, we've got, I'm going to say it was at 6 Veyrons?
I think 7 or 8
6 or 7
now.
Veyrons. We've seen upwards of 10 today already. So we are pinging. I think is the best word.
This is a bit crazy. And then behind us is the pit wall where you can hear cars kind of like burbling past, but I'm sure at some point in this podcast you will hear them absolutely screaming along. And we can play some. What was that?
We're facing away from everything, so it's quite painful.
It's really tough.
It's really painful.
We've been saying for a while that we want to do a sound test where we play YouTube videos of different car noises.
Yeah. That's the Hurricane.
We know what
that's
that is.
Hurricane.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll be testing you.
Yeah, as we're going on the fly.
But now again, go on.
No, so I was going to say, shall we actually start the podcast?
I was going to say, let's start the actual podcast. Now, I'm going to say we're fairly rural right now.
Yeah.
But let's ignore today.
Ignoring today.
What are we?
For me, it's a rule because we've got the track day on Thursday/Friday coming up soon. And I have managed to get the M3 ready. I put some pads in it. I did the discs. I got it running. It's all working lovely. I went for a drive in it. I haven't driven it for a few months because I've been doing other stuff. And I took it down the road and I was like, I forget. This is my favourite car in the world. So I'm in rule because it passed its MOT this morning.
I'm a similar sort of vein. The Megane is, I'm not going to say it's 100% ready. I wanted to get some proper suspension setup done for it, but it's fine. I'm going to call it a dialing in day because we're going to Landau. We're also filming the track car challenge in 2 days' time as well. So we'll see how our Clio fares. So I'm going to also say a rule. Also, there's a Bugatti behind me.
There's a Bugatti there.
Rule? Ruin? For Ben?
Nah, it's a big ruin for me.
It's a ruin?
Yeah, I was hoping to see some more X5s.
That's fair.
No,
I can't believe they pumped you out the back.
Any doctors out on track today?
Not anymore.
He saw the pace car and went, are they sirens?
Hold on, that guy's holding those people up. Now that's my kind of mad.
Ben is the doctor's pace car.
Great, well now that's out of the way of the Bugatti garage. Personal cars, the X5, and I haven't told you this, I booked it in for the bushes.
Have you?
The X5 has had a chronic issue for months now where every time you hear me pull up to the unit, it goes...
It is ultra squeaky.
So it's booked in to get it done.
Okay, and so then no more squeak from Ben?
No squeak from me. And the Clio, I haven't told you this either. You came in the other day and I was doing a stud conversion?
Yes.
What I didn't tell you about that is that, I think I told Will, I over-tightened the first stud.
Yes.
So I had to undo it and then do it again. And when I did that, I actually slipped off of it and I scratched my wheel.
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
So there's a nice big scratch on my rear wheel.
Oh, well.
You ever just sit down, ready for a nice quiet evening in front of the TV, and then bam, it comes up, not available in your region?
If you are using today's podcast sponsor, NordVPN, then those little content not available messages will become a thing of the past.
With NordVPN, you can just change your virtual location, a little bit like changing your postcode, only it works worldwide. Suddenly, all that content you were missing is right there, ready to watch.
And it's not just for TV. It keeps your internet connection safe and private, especially on public Wi-Fi. No one wants their data floating around in some dodgy cafe network.
Exactly, and with built-in threat protection, it blocks all the usual nasties. Ads, trackers, malware. It's like having a digital bouncer looking after your browsing.
You can have it running on all of your devices, phone, laptops, and tablets, one account, all sorted. And don't worry, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you've got nothing to lose, really.
So if you're fed up with digital roadblocks and want to keep things secure, just head to nordvpn.com/creampod. You'll get a proper discount on a 2-year plan, and they'll even throw in 4 extra months for free. That's nordvpn.com/creampod, or you can just click the link in our description.
Now, before we get on to some news, because there are some news, not that we're trying to stay focused and do podcast stuff here. A car each that we'd like to see? We've had a little walk around.
We've had a little one
so far, but we haven't really seen everything. Benjamin, kick us off with a car you'd like to see here today.
I've never seen. Do you know what? I think I've actually seen, in comparison to a normal person, I think I've seen some. Sorry, as a non-car person, I've seen quite a lot of different supercars. I've never seen a Murcielago in person. I now have.
Yeah.
I wanted to see.
An SV.
I wanted to see a Koenigsegg in person.
Hey,
Never
man.
seen one.
You got your pick of the
And
bunch here.
I haven't seen an Agera yet, but we've seen. Is it a CC?
We saw a
CCR.
CCXR and
That
a
was quite
CCR
cool. But I want to see some of the new
and a
stuff.
Regera we've seen.
Driving
Esco.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, also, for those of you that don't
Having
know, the Secret Meet is essentially a collection of the most ridiculous hypercar and supercars you can imagine. So hence why there is just noise around us, because it's everything. I'm looking out to a Valkyrie, 8 Bugatti Veyrons, including a Super Sport and a Super Sport Vitesse.
And there's an F40 just literally right off camera there.
The car park is insane. There's everything from Nissan. I mean, there's some. We park next to a petrol blue Clio
Petrol Blue
182
182.
on French plates.
French plates
So
for
there's
right-hand
everything from
drive.
that. There's an F80 M3 out. There's E92s. There's a 46 M3 CSL. Singer 911s. There is
Everything.
everything. I know some people won't be into the supercar stuff,
But
but there
there's-
is a colossal
Yeah.
range
There's-
of very special
There's an
cars
Alpha
here.
33 Tipo Stradale recreation out there. It's crazy.
And the best thing is, it's not just standing still. Like some of these cars are on display, but they're driving them on track.
Yeah, they
You can
and
hear them, see them, be up close to them.
also
It's so
not
good.
not just driving them on track, yinging them on
Oh,
track.
really flying.
There is a man in an F430 out there who Lewis Hamilton might be here. He's
Yeah.
absolutely flying.
Also, that sounded
it
insane.
sounded very good.
Would you like news?
Hang on, hold on a second. You haven't told me what you guys
Oh,
want.
yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah, God.
You went straight on to
What are you going?
So I was Koenigsegg.
I'm.
No, you're Ben.
Oh, sorry.
You've got far too much hair. I'm desperate to see a Murcielago, Bain specifically a 6.2 manual.
Yeah, color. Any colour.
A yellow, black leather, 6.2 manual.
Okay.
With the original wheels. I would be happy with that. I'm gonna doubt it. I haven't seen one yet.
It's-
that, or I'd very much like to see a Gallardo, a 5
5
litre,
litre.
or a Superleggera.
Superleggera would be
Just
nice.
simply to hear
Gen
it.
1 or Gen 2?
Gen 1.
Gen 1.
Gen
See,
1,
but
5 litre.
now, if I see a Gen 2 in the green, the bright green, also, yeah, no photos today,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
sorry, no game either.
No gate. Well, I mean, our
TDU2.
background, I think maybe we have a bit of background.
Call it Gran Turismo.
Yeah. For me, it's an F1. It's always an F1. It will always be a McLaren F1.
Yeah.
We haven't seen one
haven't
yet.
seen one yet.
And I'm quite worried.
But there is meant to be, and I think multiple. Oh, so
I am actually.
But we've seen T50.
we have seen T50.
We've seen T50,
So we're
and,
getting
that's,
close.
and that's exciting for me. There's a lot of things here that we're
a
going to
lot.
film a 2 dead center video, literally walking around all the cars. So if you want to hear schoolgirls essentially
pretty much,
going crazy over cars, that video will be out semi soon.
There's a massive hypercar grid walk where they put all the big boys on the main straight
Yeah.
and line them all up. So we're going to be creaming.
Yeah, we're going to. You know what?
We're going to
Wow.
be
You know, we might be the biggest creamers here.
our first live creaming.
Also, at Supercar Drive, we've already had a couple of people coming up and say, I'm a creamer. And that's a wild thing to hear.
Last
here.
person I expected it.
Yeah.
Last person. A little bit of news for it. So Ben, you've put in here Escalade H1000. Do
Yes.
you know anything about that?
I forgot to look up any information about it, but I saw it. I'm pretty sure it's an Escalade that is Hennessy
Hennessy,
tuned.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Like
Yeah.
1,000 horsepower Escalade. And do you know what? I'm going to say it. That's cool.
See,
It's American. It works. It works only there.
I don't know what it is about Americans with 4x4s that are fast. It doesn't do as much for me as like a Cayenne or an
Yes,
AMG Merc.
yeah.
For some reason, because it's. But why not put it in a Corvette? Why not put it in a
Yeah.
Mustang? I get it. It's an American. They
Yeah.
go, why can't I make everything have 1,000
I
horsepower?
quite like the Jeep, the Trackhawk, and the.
I like that because it's like OEM. But it's
Yeah.
like when the tuners do it, I'm a bit like, yeah, but
It's such good names. Just
Yeah.
coming out. They're just sitting in a meeting going, what should we call it? Let's call it the Track Dog, the Hell Pig, and the
Hell Pig.
Fire.
bingle.
Okay, well, there's
Just-
news.
I was just trying to look
Sorry.
it up, but I can't. But
Sorry, just said the word bingle in the official Bugatti store behind the
The
Veyrons.
new Bugatti
now
Bingo.
I thought so. This is off actual Top Gear website, so
Ooh.
it must be correct.
It's
I
from a
can't be
source.
wrong.
They
yes.
don't do misinformation there.
No, not today. Do you know what? It's a nice day. Let's
Yeah.
not lie. So it is a Cadillac Escalade V. Is a 1,005 horsepower.
Nice.
So what does the V stand have standard? 600 and something?
That is information that I do not know the answer
And you
to.
don't,
Don't
and it's
ask
not,
questions to
not,
Ben.
not misinformation, Ben.
We're just going to get information from Ben. Ben will no longer be taking questions.
Here's what I'll tell you. 1,005 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds.
That's wild, because that's like a 2-ton car. That's actually mental.
It's actually, that's a block of flats doing 0-60.
Okay.
Is that
So
is
yeah,
that a lot?
that's pretty much all the information I have on it.
Ben's
But
just on temporal run now.
I got distracted. I got distracted with how
No,
cool that was. But yeah, I saw that and I thought that's a. If we could drive that on TDC, that would be
Ooh.
cool.
Is that Ben's car away from home when we're in America?
Yeah, that'd be my little daily.
I bet that squats E55 style.
He's lifting front wheels.
He's got cheeks on him for sure. GTI Peugeot is back.
Yeah, I vaguely heard about this, and then I saw you
now-
put that in.
Have we?
Oh, it's called Peugeot.
Have we posted about our Peugeot?
No, yeah.
I think we
Yes.
will have by this point.
Yeah.
It's a
Maybe
few weeks
if
away.
we have, we have. If we haven't,
Yes.
We've got a GTI Peugeot that we bought without using the internet, and it went very poorly.
It
And
went
we'll
very-
leave it there. I
Ben
think,
knows
just in
vaguely what
case.
happened, but yeah, no.
Oh
it,
yeah, Ben.
it
I wasn't
went,
there.
I told Ben, but it's tough.
But basically, they brought it back, the name GTI. So there's an E208.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
There's an
Okay.
electric 208 with 276 horsepower. The interior looks very. I think it looks really cool, but it's just.
Oh, it's a thing. Oh, I thought it was just. I
No,
had
it's a
only
thing.
heard of the name.
It is. I think so. GTI is back. Peugeot bringing it so back, but it's an electric thing, which is disappointing because it looks amazing. The interior looks really, really cool. It's really annoying because we now have this like new generation of French hatchback. Where you've got the Renault 5 and then you've got the 208
Yeah.
and a few other bits, and there's a 4 now.
Yeah, the
Renault
4, yeah.
But they're all electric.
Yeah, it's just, but also if it means that people start messing with them again, and if
Fair.
there's an uptake, and then people go, you know what, chuck an engine back in
Chuck
there,
a little 4-cylinder in there.
chuck a little angry rally guy in there.
A rally car
A
version.
rally car would be cool.
Or a rally cross car.
Oh, now that I like.
That would be cool. So that was quite interesting news. Also, just nice to have Peugeot not just being police cars and undercover whatever.
And my nans.
What other news have we got? Did you see the Mansory M5?
No, I didn't
Did
see
you
that
see
at all.
that? I think I saw it yesterday. So-
Imagine I'm an audio listener.
Imagine a Mansory M5.
Okay. Okay,
That's
sure.
it.
What are the wheels? Are the wheels like blocky looking kind of
I
monoblock?
can't even remember the wheels if I'm honest.
Was it forged carbon and Miami blue
It's
with green
basically
stitching?
it's got a sort of thong up the bonnet.
Oh, interesting. Don't we all?
It's got like a carbon bonnet thong. I have no insight.
Okay. Oh well. You have to use
So
your
you'll have to.
imagination.
Do you know what? We will endeavour. We will try our very best. It's basically a new M5 with a load of. Imagine a Mansory car.
Yeah.
Imagine
It's that.
big car, even bigger.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Ugly car, even uglier.
Now, hang on a second though. I saw
Hang
the
on
other.
a sec.
I know how this sauce is made.
I saw the other day is it G90? The new one?
Yeah.
G90 M5, but I saw a blacked out one entirely. And do you know what? That looked angry. It looked genuine. The first time I seen one, I thought, okay, here we go.
Oh, a little bit of silence.
Sorry. I'm desperately trying to adjust my microphone and it keeps falling into my face. So
We
we go, that's
have
better, that's
also
better.
Gordon Murray. Now, this is kind of
Where is he?
somewhat topical. Gordon Murray not here today, as far as I'm aware.
no,
Otherwise, we'll have to get him on the podcast. I'm sure he's.
I'd be the happiest man on earth.
That would be amazing. We also, if anyone does come along today, by the way, which may well happen, we only have 3 mics, so
Ben's getting kicked off.
Ben's going to have to get kicked off.
You know
for a
what?
while.
think that's fair.
Whoever comes over, we'll rock paper scissors for who has to go. it's just me talking to Ben.
Me and you both.
Yes, just
So, Shmi, what is your product Sunday? What do you like to get up to on the weekends?
So Gordon Murray,
yeah.
the GMA,
Of
basically
of loud shirt
of loud
fame.
shirt, impressive moustache,
Yeah.
even better brain.
Yeah, of course.
He is. So there's the Gordon Murray, there's the T50,
T50,
T33.
yeah.
But obviously there's a few race car ones as well. But they now have a special vehicles division.
Okay.
And special vehicles division are coming out with 2 new cars at Monterey Car Week at the Quail.
Based
Now,
based
who's
on
going
the, based on 33
I
and
believe
50.
they're going to be based on something they already have.
Okay, so this is a bit like as in an Elva is a not speedtail, but essentially it's
Yeah, I
like a
think so, yeah.
one-off built on the T50 sort of platform.
What I want, now, I don't know any more information than this. I'm only making stuff up. What I want is a T50 without the fan.
Yeah,
I want
okay.
it. I get the fan. I understand the fan.
The fan's there, but
But I don't want the fan.
it would be great without the fan.
I want. Oh, do you know what? I literally want McLaren F1.
Yeah, yeah, same.
I want the rest of them want McLaren F1, and I know that's not going to be
A singer F1.
That's not fine. But yeah, so the 2 cars at the Quail, and who else is going to be at Monterey?
Well, yeah, we're going to be at Monterey. So
gonna be there.
if anybody knows anything about anything at all and could get us in contact to get us in there, because this is the other thing, we're going to Monterey, but we we don't have anything we can do yet. We aren't in with anyone.
We're just going.
So if there's anyone who's part of anything and knows anything about anything at all, let us know.
We have got some links, but we need to get moving on them, and it's getting
watches be like
nice.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That's nice. That's a good one.
Nice. But we keep thinking of it as it's months away. It's 2 months away.
Yeah, we need to get
It's
our
less
visas.
than- Next bit, Le Mans. Now this is motorsport.
Yes.
But again, feels a little bit apt because of where we are. But I'm normally not that bothered by Le Mans. But Le Mans is or endurance racing in particular, is becoming more and more interesting to me because of the cars.
Yes.
They're like becoming more and more open. While F1's going, no, you'll have this bland sounding i3 engine sounding thing going past. F1 people just going to be
Absolutely
going
swinging in the comments.
Actually, they told 9J. But there was a Valkyrie in one of the classes.
Yeah, that's cool.
At Le Mans, and that is insane.
Also, reminiscent of the F1.
Yeah.
The F1 was a road car built, and then someone went, "Yo, maybe we could race that."
Maybe we should
and then
go
put
racing.
a road car with some amount of work on. Same thing. Valkyrie we're just entering basically a road car. I know it's not. I know it's a ridiculous road car, but still.
Ferrari, Porsche both raced. Lamborghini weren't there this year.
Yeah.
But I think they may be next year, but they were there last year. But it's just there's a bunch of new classes. There's the Hypercar.
The whole gang's there.
The whole gang is.
Was there a
turning up.
NASCAR this year?
There was a Cadillac.
There was a NASCAR.
Not a NASCAR. I don't know if it was a NASCAR now.
Oh, is it the
this is a
LMP Cadillac?
Yeah, like an actual Le Mans
That
car,
thing sounds
which sounds
very cool.
insane. I saw a few clips and it was just a Valkyrie, and then
Just
man.
What's that?
Actually, I've never felt the desire to go to Le Mans
Well, perhaps next year
Little
we
Le
could
Mans.
buy some cars and go to Le Mans.
and go to Le Mans.
And race them.
Yeah, and we'll be on the Lausanne Straight doing 110 in a Citroen C2.
24 hours to get to the 24 hours of Le Mans.
Oh, that's quite good,
But
actually.
that was quite good. And also, apparently, McLaren then revealed after also Ferrari won, which I don't know why, it's just quite cool to me.
No, and was it Robert Kubica won?
Kubica, yeah.
Which is very cool because he
Yeah.
was basically not able to race anymore and then went, you know what? Put me back in. I know nothing about motorsport, so there's going to be people being like,
Yeah. He basically almost lost his arm, and so he couldn't do F1 anymore. And then now he's just winning Le Mans.
said, you know what?
In a Ferrari.
Put me back in, coach.
Yeah, but I think that's 3 years in a row.
Oh, whoa.
3 years in a row for Ferrari, which is quite cool. Because I don't know what it is. It's always there's a thing in motorsport where like everyone likes Ferrari.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course. I think with even motorsport, if you're into cars, if you grew up into cars, there's very few people that will not say as a child Ferrari was the thing.
The racing car the racing car of child pictures is red,
Yeah, exactly. It's a Ferrari. It is.
just like John Deere.
and then you become a Ben and you go, I actually like Porsche more.
Yeah, I actually like grey.
I wouldn't even rise to it.
But then after Le Mans, McLaren came out and announced their version of a hypercar, which I believe is the first time McLaren have done that. I think they've been in Le Mans. Someone correct me in that. They may have had the road
In the
car spec
GT3
stuff,
classes.
but I don't know. Someone's going to know. But there's not been a big boy for a while,
like
as
a
far as I'm aware.
prototype.
And apparently in 2027, they will be there.
Wow.
So imagine that. You could have McLaren, Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini,
Then just
Cadillac.
looking at F1. I'm bored. I'm leaving. I'm going elsewhere.
But that's so much better
That's
than
cool,
Formula
yeah.
One.
The thing I love about Le Mans is that you have different classes going at the
Yeah.
same time. That's cool.
Yeah.
Having back markers that you have to deal with. I'm sure the people in like prototype and high classes are like, get out the way.
Move.
But as a thing to watch, you have multiple. You're watching multiple races at once. That's cool.
In terms of newses, I think I'm all out. So shall we move on to things and
Anecdotes.
stuff and anecdotes that
Yeah.
we've got written down? You've written here the Go Compare advert.
There is a Go Compare, but I don't watch
There is.
much TV. But I just happened to be. I'm dog sitting for my parents. So I happen to be watching the TV. There's a Go Compare advert of some variety, and a man is backing into a parallel parking spaces.
okay.
Do you know what he's in? He's in a Clio 200.
What?
And
Wow.
it's like a low down shot from a bumper, and it's the car kind of reversing in. You can just see the twin tailpipes. I was like, who's chosen of all cars just a Clio 200
Yeah.
for an advert? It's really weird.
I want to know the process for these adverts.
But this
and
is it,
stuff.
because there was a Go Compare, or was another insurance company that they wrote off an E28. They rolled an E28 for a shoot. But why that? Why choose that over a 405 that you could pick up for £400?
Because also, like an E28, it's not that hard. Like maybe it's like the E28 that's in Snatch, I think it is, or I think it's in Snatch, where it's like it would have been a very cheap car then.
Yeah,
So it's meant
exactly,
to look a bit
yeah.
ratty, but now it's like
it looked like a really
Yeah.
nice car as well. But it's the same thing with that Go Compare advert. Surely there are 1,000 Astras that someone went,
local
we'll just use that.
scrapyard or whatever.
But it's not even. It wasn't even used as like a car to smash up. It was just car.
Yeah.
But for some reason, car ended up being a Clio 200.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
Insane.
Now, what if they forgot to get a car and they went, oh, who's got a cool car?
Who's got something?
One of the runners.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a Clear 200 back there. We'll chuck you an advert if you want. And he pulled it in.
And then the producer or the director just heard Clio and went, oh, that's car.
Yeah, little Clio, fine.
And he was going, it's got Recaro bucket seats. I've put limited slip diff in it. It's got 0.1 shifter.
You know radiator support that goes, no, I've replaced it.
Yeah, the flex is air fixed as well. It's all pulley bushed and everything. So it'll be great if you shoot. I only want $8,000. Just that would actually be car people in that.
Genuinely.
We need a car. Okay, my car is from 2003.
Yeah.
I bought it
special
in
because
its name is Greg.
Second Greg mention. Yo, shout out to all the Greg. Shout out Greg. Shout out Greg.
Shout out Greg.
Shout out Greg.
So that's the Go Compare advert. Now, Ben, you put in a seating position. I got a feeling I know what this is.
Right.
Because I got a little hint at this when
Last
we were in the
week,
car together.
we spoke about my seating position and
Which is wild.
how goofy it is. Will, why don't you give the audience a little update?
Also, we haven't that podcast hasn't got out yet, so we don't yet know what your responses to our
That's true.
conundrum were. So
But this is almost a resolution, would you say?
Now, okay, so, Will, can you please describe once again, just very briefly, what my seating position is or was?
I'd say it's probably around about this.
It's pretty much, yeah.
But
No, it's like that?
But then if you could be about 3 foot higher.
Yeah, if I was in the rafters up
You know
here
what
on
it
the
is?
Bugatti.
It's Donkey Kong. That is your...
It's me sitting in the beat.
Okay, I sit very high and quite close. I'm actually quite tall.
You're in first person view on the car, basically.
Well, I actually am relatively tall, and I sit way too close to the steering wheel.
Taller than Will?
I think actually, if you look at the unit wall, I am taller than Will, with and without shoes.
Not happy about that at all.
Anyway,
Moving on
now-
from me being the shortest member of the C.R.E.A.M podcast.
yeah. So basically, I sit too high, too close for my height. So what I've been doing is I've been experimenting.
Oh.
Yep. And I tried to sit. I tried to sit very low and very far back.
Okay.
And I did that all the way home the other night, which is about 100 miles. And I felt like a child in my dad's car.
You been throwing it back?
Yeah, I threw it back actually. I did throw it back
You threw
because
it back?
I was real, like I was limp back. I was actually.
And how did you feel?
Do you know what? I felt too far back, and
Okay.
my girlfriend got in the car with me yesterday and just started laughing and said, "Why are you like a child in a booster seat?"
And you went, Wagwan.
And I went,
Get in, you know.
"Jump in, yeah." So then I decided I'll split the difference. I'll meet in the middle, and so far I pulled up today like that.
So you're a little bit low and a little bit more lean back.
So I'm probably how a normal human would sit in a car now.
I would
Yes.
actually say he's slightly more relaxed than that. I got in the car with, but I actually can't remember where it was. I think it was we're going to BP. Once
Yes,
again, the
yeah.
coldest sips available. And I got
other
in
sips
the
available.
car and I didn't actually notice it. And I looked over to my right and I just saw Ben. I said to Ben, I said, "You look so comfortable."
He looked at me and went, "You look so comfy."
Because he was just reclined.
Do you know what?
But not. Some people look reclined, but it looked uncomfortable because
Yeah.
they're stretching for everything.
But it just felt right?
He was just in his element. He was in this.
You've done
He
it.
was simpatico with the car.
I felt like-
Everything was perfect.
I felt like I was sat in an F1 sitting position. I felt like I was legs up, just like all the way back. And even though I guarantee you looked at me, I look like a normal person in the car, but it felt so wrong. So I've now, what I've done is I'm still at the same level of the seat, but the back of the seat is now back like more upright,
Yeah.
and the steering wheel is a bit lower. That is perfect.
When I saw it felt like that trope in a movie where there's like a really good kid who's very honest, who does his homework, and then one day you meet him 10 years later and he's a bad boy.
He's in a gang.
He's in a gang, he's doing drugs. That was when I got in the car, X5 with Ben, and he was, what are you saying, you know?
He went from Benjamin to Ben. So it's a resolution. Even without people's comments, you've resolved
so
it.
we're still in the testing phase. I'd
Okay.
say we've gone from alpha testing to beta testing.
Oh, okay. You're going to do
Full
like
stable-
a soft launch.
We'll probably do like a full stable release at some point.
Okay,
but I
okay,
want to,
okay.
like when video game companies
Like-
do it, so they leave it a little bit, so you
Okay.
really they get a good launch.
You're going to do like alpha testing on other people.
Yeah.
When's the demo?
The demo?
Well, demo was with you.
Demo was with you.
Okay,
that
I
was
liked
like,
it.
but that was like
I liked
alpha.
that.
Yeah.
I'll give that a rate.
Oh, thanks. So yeah, so
Are you pre-ordering, Ben?
You know what? No, because I like it because I've already got one.
are you going to preload me like before?
Whoa!
Let's
That's
move
a
on.
crazy one.
Edwin, you put in here last price.
Ben's not happy with that. Yes, this is a something I was thinking about earlier. Why do people on selling? Oh, that's rather nice.
Quite pleasant.
Why is it that people say on adverts, "What's your last price?" What do you mean, what is your last price? What does that mean?
What's your first price?
Now, best price, I can kind of get.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the best price that you can do? But what does your last price mean?
It's like an auction.
Is in it? I get it. It's the last price you're willing to go down to.
Yeah.
But use English, please. Let's speak properly. I you know what? If someone messages me, what's your last price? I'm gonna message them back insensitive things. I'm just gonna be hateful to them. It annoys me so much. What did you say?
How big are your shoes? Just asking them questions. What's your last price?
Oh, okay, I thought that was a genuine question.
What's your waist size?
But what
are you doing this weekend?
What's your last? Also, it's such a lazy thing to do. Just you know what? I want to skip all of the bartering. I don't want to deal with any of it. I just want your best price.
I'm not even going to see the car.
No, just what is it? Just what is it?
Are they asking what your last price was, like what it was up for, what you bought it for?
Or what the car that you most recently sold before that?
Yeah, how much was that?
Okay. So you can be like, I've last sold an Aventador, so that was 150, mate. So if you want that for this,
it's a prediction thing. It's what do you think your last price will ever be in your life, like a car you sell?
Interesting.
And how would it be?
What's the last transaction you'll ever make? Wow, it's a threat. What's the last transaction you'll ever make? Because if you're not careful, it'll be this one.
That is, if I get a last price message, I'm writing you off.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
care.
simply not. I'm not going forward. I could guarantee I've never sold a car to someone who said that.
No, yeah, same.
I've never had someone say, "What's your last price?" They've then turned up and bought the car.
No, because they're a chancer.
Yeah. And then you get the really, I was going to say bold. That's not what I was going to say. The really bold
in
ones.
hair?
Okay. Bold ones that they're the last price person, but in person.
Yeah.
So they come and see it.
I can't stand it.
And they chance their arm there, but without actually sort of doing it, or they test drive it and rag it and then go, "That's your last price."
I always like
Make me an offer, man.
you just hit them back with what's your best price.
What's the most? I like to go back with what's the most you would pay.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're both asking the same
What is
question.
the least you'd take and the most you'd pay? We can meet somewhere in the middle there. Perhaps. What was that? Did we catch that?
I think it's V12.
It is a V12. Oh.
Now the audience can probably see what goes past.
Yeah, well, it's very unfortunate.
Someone
for
in the
us.
comments let us know what that is.
I don't like it when you. This is a podcast. We misspeak.
That's T50, I reckon.
I don't know. It doesn't feel.
It's high pitch though.
Yeah,
it could be. Who knows?
Now, what about when someone messages you and they don't say anything and you just say best price question mark? Without even saying hi?
Wild.
You would assume the one it's up for.
I reply worst price question mark.
I just reply with another question.
I respond thank you.
Yes.
Best price.
Best price full stop. This is, mate, you know what? This is a great price.
I have never seen a bad price.
Yeah, it feels nice. If the 995 really got me.
Thanks, man. We've got motorway short on-ramps from you, Edwin.
This was I had a thought about this, right? Car manufacturers are getting stupid fast. 0 to 60s now.
Yep.
You can go into a dealership and buy a sub 4 second 0 to 60 car every day of the week. You can find sub 3 second 0 to 60 cars. I always think, why? What's the use? It's for short motorway on ramps. Because this morning there is up the A34. There's one that is literally a 20-meter on ramp, and this car's going at 70. And there's a little Peugeot. What's the weird crossover-y long 4007 maybe?
Yeah,
Jesus, what's that?
Oh my lord, there's some very fiery things out there.
Whatever that is, he just couldn't get on.
Yeah,
because he couldn't make up the gap.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're in a 992 Turbo S, and you just stage up, hit the limiter, you could insert yourself into traffic.
Oh, you think that they should be stopping on the on ramp and then doing an
just
actual launch?
And then, because if you had a sub 3 second 0 to 60 car, by the time that 20 meters is done, you're there.
No,
you're at speed.
Even that you pull off from a hard shoulder, you got to pull over. It's like you don't need to do the normal thing where you drive along, pick up some speed. You can just launch straight onto the motorway.
You just hit that guy, off you go.
If you're at 60 in like 2.5 seconds, you're basically doing what the slow lane's doing anyway.
Exactly, and you're just done.
But the A34 is awful for it. But this morning, I went for a wee at Starbucks.
As you
and didn't buy a coffee. And
in the machine or in the toilet?
Just behind the
in
camera.
the doorway.
Excuse me, mate.
And I had to merge onto the A34 is mental. I had to do a legit kick down on the X5 to get on there. And even then there was old Doris going, "Oh bloody hell!" and trying to get out of the way.
Imagine now you're in a Rev Welto. Life's easy.
Yeah.
You're loving life. So now
that's electric cars though. They all have this benefit of even the slowest electric cars. Well, apart from like very small stuff, but even like your average Peugeot or whatever that's electric, they have this ridiculous
they can
acceleration.
Just ying it.
I actually hate it.
Yeah, it's
I'll
really annoying.
I'll be upset. In the past, you'd be at a set of lights and you might need to get in front of someone, or you just want to beat someone. And normally you could go, right, they're in an Audi A1 or whatever. And if I'm in a faster car, I'm relatively cool with it. And now I don't know.
No, it's like
if I see the little green thing on the number plate, I'm actually a bit panicked.
It's like looking at someone being like, I could take you in a fight.
Yeah.
But in fact, they're actually a Taekwondo master.
Yeah.
They look nothing. It's like a 70-year-old woman, but she'll mash you up.
He's an undercover fighter, and it's so the electric car thing is it's bruising egos everywhere.
It really is.
The amount of times I've been chopped by his 50-year-old dad in his 7-seater Persia
in his MGX power,
and he doesn't care.
No, you don't know.
He's just using what he's got.
Yeah,
he's just using the abilities he's purchased. So yeah, maybe traffic light racing has changed.
Do you know the electric Fiat 500?
Yeah,
that thing. It's not quick. But like in comparison to what was it, like a 0.9 litre engine before, the acceleration in that, it's probably 182 speed.
Well, that's what I was about to say. It's like the base now, the worst electric car is hot hatch fast. That shouldn't be allowed. That's not allowed.
I swear there just aren't slow cars anymore.
No.
No one is going through the pain of a 10 plus second 0 to 60 car anymore.
Even the Dacia Sandero that we had, like, it's not fast.
No,
but it can get out of its own way. If you drive any old, if you can drive any old 90s car, like if you drive that 1.6 Golf, it's tough. It's tough to get. Times are tough, man.
The streets will never forget 15-second 0 to 60s because the youths and even the adults of today are never going to know it.
No,
they're never going to know having to plan your route and go, right, if I floor it now, I might catch the speed limit by the next junction.
I think it makes you a better driver.
Everyone needs to drive a 15-second 0 to 60 car just to get to know the road.
It's like rich people that teach their kids lessons with money, where they make them do stuff. Yeah. We got to do that. Everyone has to get their lumps.
There's something quite magical. My first car was a K11 Micra, and trying to merge onto a motorway or something in that and also the risks are higher. The stakes are higher because if you get hit in that thing, you're just a mist of human.
Using all the revs, just bring it to the red line. Just slamming gears to get up to 60.
Literally what you have to do. The kids these days.
They'll never know. I think that's it for our anecdotes, to be fair.
Okay.
Ben, you've put in here a want of the week.
Yes.
Ben loves a one of the week.
Ben loves a one of the week.
Do you know what? Because like last week, when you asked me off the cuff, no idea. Yeah. I would probably quite like a sandwich or something at the time. But
wouldn't we all?
Yeah, but if sometimes I see something, and this morning I was on the M34 and coming next to me.
Oh,
yeah! Wow,
sure.
Lucky me. Was a Ferrari F8 Tributo.
I love them.
Stay with me. That is a modern 458. I know it is actually that.
Interesting. This might be a stretch, but this is a modern Ferrari.
I don't know if anyone's said this before.
But it looks like a modern. I don't like the rear as much, but it looks like a modern 458. And this one, and this is a spec I don't normally like, was bright silver, black calipers, bright silver wheels.
Yeah,
I like. Do you know what? And black interior. And do you know what? Clean.
I'm going to say something.
Go on.
I think the mark of a good Ferrari is that it works in weird color specs. Okay. It's the reason I think a 550 is so good, because you see, or even a 360, like that green one that we saw at what's called. Whenever let's take for instance a SF90
XX.
Well, perhaps one of those.
Like
perhaps one of those in green. I wouldn't pick that myself. No, that is a callback. We made fun of Shmi's car. Apparently, he's here and he wants to fight with us.
Yeah, we're welcome
because he's here in his green XX. So yeah, we need to. We're waiting to be ambushed by him. And I stand by it. It's Java green.
It is Java green.
I quite like it.
Yeah,
I'm not even just saying that. I actually quite like it.
That's why when he comes, he's going to sit on your sofa.
He's going to sit in your house.
Only one person on the podcast can like it at once. So I have to leave.
Every TDC must always have rivaling views. So Ben, what is your? So your one to the week is an F8 Tributo.
F8 Tributo in that spec.
You'd like silver with silver.
I
with
wouldn't
black.
usually go for it.
What colour would your interior be, dear sir?
Now on my one, it would be tan.
Okay,
but on that one is black and it looked quite good.
Now we had a revelation back in the CT days because we always wondered why we looked at sort of more modern Ferraris and thought, why doesn't this do it for me?
Yeah.
Why isn't it Ferrariing for me? And we decided it was because of the lights at the rear.
Quad lights
at the rear felt like a Ferrari thing for so long. And again, it's not exclusive. There are many cool Ferraris in the past that haven't had quad lights. But you think F40, F50, Enzo, 360, 430, 355. Testarossa, no. But Testarossa is of
He's
its
his
own
own guy.
era.
But if you go
many
back
of the big
before,
280
518BB had them, like they always had them.
lots of the big boy, the best Ferraris have had quad lights, and then suddenly they went, you know what? Time for Sid the Sloth.
Yeah, just to
Now, but I'm now coming round to the single light thing. Now they're sort of they're aging quite well. Like
Yeah,
a 458
458 is nice.
That's even F12 is the last Pin Farina car.
I can't do F12.
I now prefer an F12 to an 812.
Oh,
they're
no.
less busy.
No, not for me. But they've now gone back to the quad light, like the what's called the F8,
F8s
and the F8 is really, really nice.
Now, that's my one that I don't like as much. I prefer the singular lights, but maybe it's because maybe it goes back to the old Lamborghini adage.
Yeah,
And
It's
the
what you grew
Corvette
up
adage.
with. And the what?
And the Corvette adage now.
It's what you grew up with. Yeah,
it's what you grew up with.
It's the Ford Fiesta you grew up with.
exactly. I'm pretty sure it's a Ferrari, but
What? Oh, full Fiesta.
Yeah, not full Fiesta.
You know, I prefer the full Fiesta when they had the quad lights.
yeah,
they
me
were
too.
much nicer.
Yeah.
Much
so-
better
so
when you had the
William?
1.25 Duratec.
William?
I'm going to going with the day we're at. I'm still going with the Gallardo 5 litre. I'm now watching YouTube videos on like reliability, which is just actually not good. It's more off-putting than
Off
anything.
servicing it yourself.
I don't.
So yeah, the drone
can't be
plugs
that-
here, mate.
Yeah,
You
it's
couldn't-
37 million pounds. It's more that it's like, no, what? It will all be very expensive. But then when people start talking about engine rebuilds
That's tough.
as being quite common, that's when it gets very,
Look,
very scary.
You know what? We met Ricky from RE Performance.
Yeah.
Ricky Elden, the man in the UK for 5 litres and 5.2s. I'm sure he'd help you out and take all your money.
We are sort of planning to do a video like that.
We are.
We may have a car lined up for Edwin, which is
A Ferrari 550 Maranello. I believe Charlie is your name. I'm waiting. I must reply to your email because that to me is my attainable. Like when I say attainable, it's sell kidneys and everything. But
Yeah.
maybe one day it could happen on a long enough success. I could have a 550. So that is it for me. And then yours is a
I
Gallardo.
would quite like a Gallardo. Obviously, Murcielago is absolute top
Yeah,
tier, but
for both of us.
Murcielagos are flying through the roof. But Gallardo is if you work hard and you save your pennies and you're a good boy
And you sell everything you own.
and you sell everything you own and you disown everyone and you don't go out
And a
you
little
don't-
bit of bank robbing. Just a little bit of bank robbing.
just a little bit of crime. Just a tiny bit of crime. You might be able to get one, but yeah, I would very much like one because I think they're a good, not a good investment, but I think it's one of those things where you'd be relatively safe in it.
Oh, I agree.
Until the engine blows up.
Yeah, and then it's tough.
then it's real troublesome season.
Mine is we had I'm not sure we can talk about it yet, but we had a certain American YouTube personality come over yesterday for Alex,
Yes.
who, and it's not Tavares, come over and he is looking for a car in the UK. And so we were looking through options and just spitballing random things. And Tuscans came up, and I'm very sad that I don't own a Tuscan, so I started looking at them last night. Lotus Carltons, again, as always.
Insane money.
And then 550 Maranello. I've just been looking. I just want a crashed one. If anybody ever sees like a crashed, like a Cat C or Cat D 550, or it's just horrendous, the paint's shot, it's abandoned, that's what I want. I want a mechanically sound but really ropey exterior and to beat the piss out of it.
There was the Tuscan I showed you.
That's cool.
No, it's just from Tom. Oh my lord! There was trying not to get too
What
distracted.
was that? What was that?
I don't actually
It
know.
felt a bit V80.
Okay.
I don't even know.
Tom from DT Performance basically sent me this is a Tuscan that's been written off quite badly.
Yeah, quite
in the
badly.
past, but it's been like reshelled and it's got an earlier VIN now, and so it's rough.
it's a mishmash.
But, he's had a life.
Yeah.
He has certainly had
I
a
like
life.
the idea of it.
We got sent some pictures of it today, and it's interesting.
It's interesting.
It's certainly interesting.
Tom, we may be in contact.
Tom, keep your phone on loud.
Never calls. Sorry. So those are the one of the week. Ben, do we have a forum
We
question?
do. We have something.
Lovely.
It's in my phone.
So for those of you listening, if this is your first C.R.E.A.M podcast, apologies for the audio. Usually it is a little bit more clear than this. But we do a little section where we allow you guys to ask a question to us car nerds. We will answer it candidly and to the best of our
I not
ability.
only have a forum, I have a
You got
conspiracy
conspiracy?
to end on.
Is it how did you get to Supercar Driver Secret Meet?
the answer, we
is
don't know.
unknown. Now, I have a question which, now you might not find it that interesting off the cuff, but I actually would like to know it personally as well, because I
Okay.
don't know if this is true. This is from Jack Borton23 on Instagram. Don't know if I spoke trash name right, but sorry. Does coolant type actually matter? Can I reliably use water? Why is some pink? Why is some blue? Why is some green?
Okay. So
I don't have a scientific reason, but I believe it's to do with it's more to do with over time.
Yes. So I believe. I also don't know that much. The first, to answer your question, why can't you use water? You can if you live in a warm enough climate. Coolant obviously has additives in it that helps it do exactly what it is called, cool. It helps it cool, but water will work through a radiator. The reason that you shouldn't use just water is water has what's called in it. What do you call it? Minerals, thank you, Benjamin. And that sort of stuff, which means that when A, they can start to corrode metal, but B, in the winter, water expands. If it freezes, if you get to -1, the water will freeze and expand and potentially crack your engine block or pop your freeze plugs out, which there are plugs inside of your engine, more often than not, that will pop out to stop your block exploding. But it will cause proper damage to your engine.
And also, just normal water you'll end up, if it sits for a while, you end up with a build-up of crap that lines your coolant.
From the minerals and that sort of stuff.
But I think the reason why there's specific coolant types for specific cars, it depends on what, either an engine block is made out of or the coolant system or a radiator is made out of, because some of them will corrode it in a different way to whatever. There is a reason why there is a specific one. I think in a pinch, some coolant's better than none. If I ever need to top up, I'm relatively happy topping up with water as long as it's mostly coolant.
Distilled water is better. If you can get distilled water because if you get concentrated coolant, you're supposed to the other half should be distilled water, not normal water, because it doesn't have the minerals in it. It doesn't have the minerals, perhaps.
I don't care if he's got hazelnuts.
You find out the minerals. And then the reason that you don't mix them, I believe, is because their cooling properties essentially not cancel each other out, but they can kind of fight each other.
Fire and ice.
Yeah. So you use one type, use the one that people tend to recommend the most.
Also, I found this out recently. If you have a tumble dryer or a dehumidifier, you can use the water from that. It deionizes.
Really?
Whatever battery water is and coolant water, the stuff that you empty out of a tumble dryer or a dehumidifier is that.
Really?
Yeah, it's distilled water.
Yeah.
But surely it's for detergent.
Why would you have detergent in your tumble dryer?
Because it's sucking all of the detergent water out of your clothes.
But the tumble dryer dries things.
I plead the fifth on that one. I recently put in my Clio.
Misinformation of the week. Ben put dishwasher water in his car.
Sorry, I'm somehow in a Bugatti garage. You think I know about tumble dryers?
Plates jangling around in his tumble dryer.
Oh no! So what I did recently was I put my Clio. The coolant wasn't. It was just above the minimum on the little in between. Now the in between of that, a minimum to maximum on a thing is what not very much. I hope. So I just poured some water in there. So I diluted the coolant ever so slightly.
Yeah, you'd be fine.
I brought it up a little bit, and I thought that's fine.
Also, you're in the summer, you'd be fine.
It was in the middle of winter.
Okay, well, it didn't crack your block, so you're fine.
No, it didn't. No, but I did use normal water.
The more water you put in, the higher your freezing point becomes.
Yeah.
You basically get closer to if it becomes freezing outside, the water expanding and cracking your block. So use coolant. Use correct coolant if you can.
Google it. It's all on Google.
Someone always knows.
You know what?
Someone guys, you asked us and we told you Google it.
Well, after a 5-minute conversation.
The answer is we don't know.
Would you like a conspiracy to end?
Please, let's end on a conspiracy. This is a little bit of a shorter one, but for some of you who are maybe upset by your ears being assaulted.
We haven't had a really good conspiracy in a while. To be fair, the tax one was good and we got a resolution out of it. The inheritance tax one, I like that. But if this is Big X wants us to be believed by Big Y.
Alex Ross on Instagram, who DM'd this to me. The conspiracy is something my dad mentioned once, and it's places like We Buy Any Car and similar easily sell your car and ask very little questions. These businesses are funded by the government to scrap petrol cars to make you buy an EV.
Interesting.
I'm gonna squash it straight away.
Are they supported by the government?
I don't know,
because they're privately owned.
Yeah, but I think that's the conspiracy.
Also, when We Buy Any Car buys your car, they send it straight to auction.
Exactly.
So they don't crush them. We Buy Any Car don't have a warehouse full of hundreds of thousands of cars that are being ready to be.
But
got
how do you know?
I'm sure they crush
because
they
I see the cars come up at BCA.
Okay, but you see 10 go to BCA. Maybe 100 that day have gone for that same place.
This is true. That's very
true.
true.
Other point I'm going to say here is I've just forgotten. Hang on.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, okay.
One second.
Let's just make our
Enter
conversation.
my mind palace.
Oh man, I love the Bugatti Veyrons. It's very nice.
How do we get here?
It is actually very nice.
It is very cool.
For those of you who can't see, it is one of the polished metal side halves, and then a black carbonate. Well, I suppose. Ooh,
Absolute
he's back.
nightmare in
Back in-
sunshine traffic.
If you were Doris, and Doris wants to get rid of her old car,
Okay.
so what she does is she goes to We Buy Any Car, and she wants the ease of getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Okay. She might be put off by selling it at all and getting an EV if it involved, putting it on Facebook, dealing with perhaps best price.
Yeah.
And instead, she goes to the people who do We Buy Any Car, and they immediately go, "Cool, we'll have your car, whatever." They then secretly get rid of it, and she buys an EV.
But surely she was doing that anyway.
No, because she might not have sold it.
How can they secretly get rid of her car?
Well, no, it's their car now. It's not her car
They're
anymore.
pushing them into the sea. That's
Now,
it.
if it's a car of very low value, it may well get scrapped because they might look at it and go, "This isn't worth going through auction.
Yeah.
This isn't worth selling. So we'll get more money just scrapping it." And that's why they probably got offered £50 for it, which
Yeah.
you can get offered from We Buy Any Car. I don't believe it.
No.
I think it doesn't make any sense to do that.
Also, there is inherent value in the cars.
Yes.
As a business, you would get money back.
Okay, here's one for you now. I'm defending him once more. BCA and
Sure.
other auction sites are available.
Of course.
You can they go up to auction, right? So then no one asks questions, but who's buying the cars? The government. And the
Okay.
government and then scrapping them secretly. Yeah, I saw a little twinkle in your eye there.
The government are just browsing Facebook Marketplace and they're going, best price.
Yeah,
What's
yes.
your last price?
There's a
I'll
government
take it.
agent on BCA.
And they just drive it into the sea.
I think it's Keir Starmer.
He's personally.
He's personally sat in the evening on BCA. He's at G7 summit.
just
you know
he's
what? Scrolling through.
Bid.
If I was in government, you could eradicate a car.
Oh, yeah.
You could go through BCA and go, right, I want every Peugeot
Bipper.
4007 to be killed.
Yeah, and you
So
can-
every single one that goes through BCA,
every single one that comes up for sale.
you go, right, scrap.
See, now I was thinking this as well because you could there have been stories of this in car world where big dealer, this is a conspiracy.
Yep.
Will meet up with other big dealer and go, yo, prices of. I'm just going to take a random car out of nowhere. This definitely hasn't happened in real life. The Ferrari 550 Maranello. These are selling.
That's very nice.
GTRS.
We are selling those. They're being sold for £30,000. So what I'm going to do is let's buy 100 or 200 of them, every single one on the market, and then put them all up for 80 or 90. Hey, there's nothing to stop you.
They're effectively shorting the market.
Exactly that.
Interesting.
So they're doing the same thing, but you could just get rid of cars. You could buy one really good one and then get rid of every other one and say, there's a McLaren F1 now.
Oh, yeah, even better.
30 mil.
Even better than scrapping the cars, you make them unattainable. So you buy Peugeot 4007, which I don't even know if it's a real thing, but let's say it is. You buy Peugeot 4007, you don't scrap them.
You salt and Brunei them.
You just put them up for sale for $100,000.
Yeah.
So you've got all of them, and they're all out. So suddenly, I mean, also someone's going to gain out of that because there'll be a car dealer.
He goes,
4007
has one.
comes and goes, oh mate, we'll give you part X for it. You go, oh, it's come up $100,000.
So let's run this calculation again because this is going out weird.
We're about to tank the whole market. Okay, you just have Auto Trader flooded with regular cars that you don't like, but they're all for sale for $80,000. No one buys them.
Right, we all need to settle on a car, and everyone needs to buy and hold because we could inflate. Wait, hold on, isn't this illegal? We think this is illegal, right?
Is it
discuss it?
insider trading? Because we don't. Then
Well,
we
it's
don't
not
work for
insider
the
trading,
company.
guys. If we can all choose a car, pay perhaps a Sport KA. We all buy Sport KAs.
Yeah,
Every
we can do
Sport
that.
KA
We
out
can do
there.
that.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Well, no, what car do we currently? What car do we already have?
Oh, that's a great point.
Because if it happens, we need to then buy the
Ferrari
car.
replica 355s.
Yeah, if everyone with a 355 rep, stick it up for sale.
They're already way too expensive.
Everyone wants $100,000 now, guys. We all want $100,000.
What if we do it with just old BMWs?
I think they're doing that by themselves.
Yeah,
It's quite nice, actually. They do that. 458
That was nice.
Ferrari V8.
That was nice.
Big
Okay.
time.
V10 of
Yeah.
Wait. I just saw what it was, so keep guessing. V10?
I'm going to say it's a
I'm gonna say that was
Huracan,
an
but maybe
early
it was an
V10.
R8.
What's a Huracan?
Yeah.
It was a Huracan. Okay, fair.
Lovely. Hey, and on that note, should we wrap this up?
I think
What's
we
our
wrap it
time
up.
at? 45 minutes off?
47, if we fit 48 now. Do you want to just say if it's plausible?
Oh, I'm going to say absolutely not. Myth busted.
No, I'm not. That's a ridiculous conspiracy.
Wow, Ben's on
What?
board. Alex, is it Alex?
Probably.
Sure, maybe Alex. Ben's on board with you. There are more cars that are about to start flying out, so before this ends up being a horrible audio podcast, thank you very much for listening.
Yes, thank you
we're
very
going
much.
to sign out here. Cars rule everything around me. Cream, get the money.
We're going to go and
Bugatti.
hang out. And
Bugatti.
Bugatti.
Of course, you're a Bugatti.